Hey all, hope you're all doing well. Jordan here and welcome back to a new video. Today we're looking at the new Avant wireless earphones from Rockjaw Audio. Now Rockjaw is a British company that have released a few headphones before, but this is the first time that they dip their toes into the true wireless realm. So some things to note about the Avant Airs. These are currently on offer for £89 with features such as a long 12-hour battery life with an additional 39 hours with the included charging case. They're using beryllium coated diaphragm drivers to give a frequency response from 15 to 40,000 Hz with a 32 ohm impedance. For those of you that want to do a bit of exercise with your earphones, or you're just a bit of a gets easily sweaty boy like me, they do have IPX5 water and sweat resistance, but just remember IPX5 doesn't mean they're submersible. Other things such as touch sensitive controls, USB-C charging and removable wingtips if you're not a fan of those, and at the moment they're only available in black. So Rockjaw's gone for a plain white box with minimal text. It's pretty basic, but to be fair you don't need anything shouty. Inside we have the charging case, earbuds and additional side pieces all laid out. Underneath there are the instructions, charging cable, additional ear tips which include some of the Comply style foam tips, which is nice, but one thing I'm not a fan of is all the plastic with the ear tips bag. It's just overly excessive. It's easy to work out which is which, so I think they could all be put into a single bag. So onto the Avant Air themselves, and they're pretty small and lightweight at only 13 grams or 6.5 grams each. This is so light that once you put them in it's easy to forget about them. They're fully matte black when you first take them out of the box, but you can always swap the trim over for the gloss black if you fancy a bit of contrast. But for those of you that know me, I'll be sticking with the matte, get that gloss as far away from me as possible. When looking at them the right way up to fit in the ear, the top spot is used for the touch media controls with a series of taps on each earbud performing different actions. I'll run over those functions later in the video and give you some more details about what I think of those. On the reverse side is where we got the 3 charging pads that will make contact with the charging case pins, then the remainder is covered in rubber to give friction to help it stay in the ear. Now if you're not a fan of the stabilizer wings, these can be easily removed by taking off the ear tip and then just pulling them off. Personally, when testing the Avant Airs, I left them on as I felt like it gave them a little bit more security to staying in my ear. Let's look at the charging case and then we'll look at the fit and media controls. For the case there's a mix of gloss and matte black, finished with a shiny Rockjaw logo. As you've probably guessed, I'd prefer an all matte case, especially as gloss is prone to fingerprints and is a bit more perceptible to visible scratches. The case is fairly easy to open when using a fingernail, certainly not fiddly like what I saw on the One More Comfo buds. The case will charge from 0 to 80% in just 30 minutes, and alongside the USB-C charging this is also Qi charging enabled. Not something I use, but hey, it's nice to have the option. There are also 4 LEDs on this case as well to indicate the remaining battery life, 20, 50, 75 and 100%. So onto the earphones fit. I do find these take a little bit more time to get into the ear when using the wingtips, but I do think that it's worth the extra effort as they feel super snug and secure once they're in. For media controls I'll show you the instructions which has all the different options on the screen now, as it will save a lot of waffling, but here is where I found the Avant Airs a little bit problematic. The touch controls for me were just very hit and miss. Sometimes it would register but then sometimes it wouldn't until I did it harder. That meant on the times it needed a harder press it felt rather thumpy in your ear. Because of this I just ended up changing the media via my phone, slightly more inconvenient but no biggie. In terms of wearing them for longer periods I didn't have any issues, they're very comfortable and being only 6.5 grams each they're super light, and I even had times where I forgot I was wearing them. One thing that I did notice is sometimes the rubber can move over the contacts for the charging pins. I'm not sure if the earphone needs all 3 pins to charge or not though, so it's just something to be aware of. So of course the main question is, how do they sound? First of all, I definitely recommend the Comply or Comply style tips, as they give a much better fit and seal, which is definitely something you're going to want for the low end. And these kind of tips are for the most part always better than silicone, although they do have a shorter lifespan because of the material, whereas silicone just lasts a long time. I'm sure that Comply will stock the right kind soon though should you need replacements, as they do already have some for the other Rockjaw products. Now those of you that have been around with me for a while, you know I listen to the widest range of genres from trance to EDM such as deadmau5 to rock and metal, so I like to think I cover a pretty wide range when it comes to testing out earphones and audio products, and my usual main testing track is the Avant from deadmau5. If you're familiar with any of Joel's work, that you might know he uses tons of layering in his tracks, and using the Avant Airs I could tell the separation quite well. It goes without saying that it's not going to be anywhere close to a pair of open back or audiophile headphones, but for a small 6mm driver it's very good. The bass kick is tasty with thumps that you can feel, and great clarity over the mid and high range, with vocals standing out in the mix. One thing about these headphones though is there's no way to customise the EQ, so you're going to be stuck with any EQ options that are in your phone. But if you're into more pop and modern music, these are definitely a great choice. Moving on to genres such as rock and just older music, the Avants do well here too, but I don't feel it has quite the zing, so to speak, that they deliver with the more modern tracks. The instruments sound good with nice detail. The power of Metallica's Sad But True really comes through very well, but listening to Guns N' Roses it just fell flat and just felt underwhelming. Never Too Much from Luther Vandross gave more of the same result. With that iconic bass line it just didn't seem that great. I found that older tracks just don't seem to be as satisfying to listen to, and I feel that these earbuds are much more suited to newer genres of music, in my personal opinion. If you're intending to watch some Netflix or video on the go, maybe if you commute, there's barely any latency with these, so watching video is very enjoyable. You don't watch someone talk and then hear them a fraction of a second later, it's very much all in sync. For those of you that intend to do some calls while wearing these earphones, they certainly do a fine job. It's passable, but nothing amazing. Overall, the Avant Airs are a great start to Rockjaw Audio's foray into the true wireless market, but there are a few things to improve. The positives do outweigh the negatives though. If you listen to primarily newer music and more pop, then I'd have no problem recommending these at all. They're comfortable, have a great battery life, and the IPX5 means they're great for exercise, or the total opposite when just chilling and watching videos. For those of you that are more primarily old school with the music, I'd recommend looking at something else instead. Now, some improvements I'd like to see would be a model with noise cancellation and wear detection, so the music pauses when you take them out. I think those features would be great to see, even if it does add a little bit of a price premium. So I think I've covered everything that I want to in this video. If there's anything that I didn't cover that you want to know, then do leave a comment and I'll get back to you. And I'll leave a link in the description box if you want to pick up a pair. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you to Rockjaw for sending these out for me to review, and I'll see you all in the next one.